Hey friend, this is episode number 545 of the And So podcast with Taylor Bradford. Let's get to it. Boss Girl Creative presents And So with Taylor Bradford, business and life musings from a successful serial entrepreneur. Each week, you will hear Taylor spill the tea on all things business, life, relationships, health, and everything in between. But don't worry, each week also includes a business nugget that will help you stay on course. And now a throwback to 3-year-old Taylor who inspired all of this.
And so, what is it?
You know that moment when you almost hit post, but then you just decide to put it back to draft or delete it altogether? Or the one where you tweak your sales page for the 6th time and it still feels off? That's what the Clarity Shot is for. It's a voice memo response. You ask me your question, I reply within 24 hours with a clear, grounded next step. No overthinking, no spiral, just direction. Grab your shot at bossgirlcreative.com/shot today. Hello, welcome to episode 545 of the And So podcast. I'm your host, Taylor Bradford. I'm so happy you are here. Let's get started with what's been going on in my world. I can never sit still long enough to do anything of anything. At least that's what it's been feeling like lately. But let's do a quick house update. The gutters are going on, which is a very weird thing to say when there's nothing else except the red iron, which is the framing of the actual metal building. So gutters are going on. Roof will be happening not long after that. So our red iron is 98% complete. I'm supposed to meet another fireplace man, a rock mason, out there tomorrow. So hopefully somebody will give me a number soon. And then we are starting stick framing in 2 to 3 weeks. So that's good. Windows are ordered. That happened last week. And I have a new door quote from Home Depot, but I need to get with my builder to make sure my measurements are correct before I actually hit go on that particular order. So that's the house. In the garden, so I had a pretty big leak down 2 of my drip lines. My husband got overzealous with the skid steer trying to help me knock out some weeds, and he caught 2 of my drip lines and just demolished them, basically. And so I was running the water and it flooded. It flooded a section of my garden. Thankfully, nothing was ruined or anything, but I had to fix that. So I did get that fixed. And I got the water restarted because we're still in the mid to high 80s, which is crazy pants. Like I went back and looked at my 2025 garden planner from the Dallas Garden School, and literally it says, this is the month where we average 50 to 70 degrees. No, we're still stuck in the mid 80s, which is crazy. And I have another round of broccoli and some cabbage to get in the ground. I already have broccoli in the ground, but this weather is not fruitful for them. So they are not going to produce or get close to producing until we hit some consistent cooler temps. So I'm a little bummed out on that. But you know what? This garden season hasn't exactly been predictable by any means. So, and the garden, we did have our first freeze. The garden definitely survived. I can see there is some frost damage, but overall, I still have a very actively producing garden, which is crazy. All right, books. I didn't finish anything between last week and this week. I did DNR a book. So I had a hold or a, hey, alert me when this book lands in my library. Guilty by Definition by Susie Dent. I have no idea why I searched for that book to add it if my library received it, but I got the notification that they did, and so I downloaded it, and I just couldn't get into it. I think it's the type of book that I'm going to have to read. I don't think I'm going to be able to listen to it, which is actually kind of shocking, but so I may try to read it sometime in the future. I did recently place a hold for the following books: Don't Let Him In, Lisa Jewell, Gone Before Goodbye, Reese Witherspoon, King's Ransom, Janet Ivanovich, and The Widow by John Grisham. I am in the middle of a couple of books right now, but I haven't finished them, so I don't want to add them to the list. But I was like, you know what? I need to stock up on what I'm going to be reading, in the next few weeks. So that is the holds. I've got other holds going, like Origin, Dan Brown, because I'm trying to catch up to his most recent book, but I only ever read the first two, so I reread the first two, and now I am waiting on, I think it's Origin. It's whatever number 3 is, and I will pick that one up, and then onwards we go. So that is my book update. Here is a course update. So Asset 1, 2, and 3 are complete. She has started Asset 4, so I've ordered that officially. I'm using a designer on Fiverr to do all of this. So Asset 4 is ordered. I believe it is my biggest asset of my course. It's about 25 pages long. It could be a little bit longer because it's an actual garden planner, not necessarily like month to month, but enough to give you like what to do in the garden, especially because it's Stop Pests Organically. So it is from that mindset. So that's where we are there. Also, okay, so I was going through different things related to different things, which gives you no hint about what I'm about to talk about. But I have been following Martha Keith. She has a product-based business in the UK. She's actually a stationer. And a long time ago, probably when I was doing my first experiment on the podcast where I was doing faceless content and just seeing what would happen. And I stumbled on her account back then. So I think I found her in the fall of, so we're in 25. I feel this must have been fall of 23. And anyways, her Instagram, she started a secret one away from her product-based business to see if she could start an account at zero. And for business, like product-based business owners, that's really what her goal was, but it works for service-based business owners as well. She wanted to see if she could figure out Instagram. And so it's called Business Secrets Club is her Instagram, Business Secrets Club. Her name is Martha Keith. You can look either one of them up on Instagram. She has a monthly subscription called the Clubhouse, where every single week she gives you 5 prompts that you can use to help you create either carousels or reels on Instagram. And then she also gives you a list of trending audio. So I joined the Clubhouse. I should have joined a long time ago. I saw her launch it and I just didn't. Honestly, I have been super inspired by her growth and the advice she gives about Instagram. And so she's been in my orbit for quite some time. So I finally joined the Clubhouse. It's inexpensive as far as a monthly subscription, and the value that she gives is well worth the money. I think it's like $25 a month, but like in the EU monetary system. So I don't really know what that converts to. I don't know that I've seen it pop up on my credit card just yet. But anyways, very, very, very good stuff inside the Clubhouse. I've been utilizing her framework, and it's not necessarily a framework. I shouldn't say a framework. I have been utilizing her weekly prompts for the last, I think, 6 reels that I have posted on my personal Instagram, which is my gardening account. That's what I've turned that account into: gardening, homesteading, building a barnuminium. But really, because I'm working on the course about stopping pests organically, my content is geared towards gardening. So I think I've done 6 reels since having access to her content hub, the Clubhouse. And y'all, I'm not kidding when I say that I was averaging 200 to 300 views on a reel. And now I'm averaging 800 to 1,000 views on a reel. Now, I don't have any other metrics outside of seeing that I'm reaching more people. Those are the metrics that I can see right now. And I do think it's going to take time. And once I finally have a course, then every single one of my reels will lead somebody down that rabbit hole to buy the course from me, right? That's the whole goal. Remember the 5 ones I talked to you about a couple of episodes ago. So I'm going to go into search bar confessions next, but I want you to hold that thought about the 5 ones because we're going to revisit that and we're going to talk about what is next once you decide to do the 5 ones. So let's dive into search bar confessions for the week. So I started watching Bewitched. I think it's on Hulu or it might be on Prime, but I saw that they have all of the seasons of Bewitched, and I grew up watching Nick at Night, and that was one of the shows that I actively watched as a kid. And so I started with episode 1 and I watched episode 1, and then I went down a rabbit hole of who Elizabeth Montgomery was. So I Googled. I also Googled probiotics for women. If you have a favorite, I would love to know what your favorite is. All of the research, so I just ran out of a probiotic. I liked it, and I also use Hilma. I actively use Hilma, and so I have that as options, plus the one I just ran out of, but I want to know, is there something else to try? And all of my research points to Ritual, but I think Ritual has a very solid ad budget, which is maybe why I'm seeing all of the people say to use Ritual. So if you have a favorite probiotic, please let me know. I also Googled how to treat gamekeeper's thumb. I have to tell you this funny story. So, and it's really not funny, but it's kind of funny. So when I was in college, actually started in high school, but when I got into college, I was an athletic trainer. So I was sports medicine track. That's what I was going to be doing for the rest of my life. And then I realized how much money and how many hours, and it just didn't equate well for me. So I ended up pivoting into becoming a certified personal trainer. I switched my degree track towards health and fitness with a business minor, and here we are. But so I was an athletic trainer. That's what I started my college career as. And I remember learning about gamekeeper's thumb, and it just kind of stuck. And now that I realize how much I focused on that particular injury, I have gamekeeper's thumb. I think I just manifested that for myself in my 40s. And I don't remember how to treat it. So I had to go to Google how to treat gamekeeper's thumb. Yep, I have that right now. And unfortunately, it's really kind of like the tendons that are in there are swollen, and I keep irritating it. And so it's not healing. So that's my problem. I also Googled composite soffit. So we're trying to figure out underneath our porch. We don't really want to use wood if we can not have to use wood, and we don't want metal because I didn't really like what my metal options were. So I'm trying to find a composite soffit for the ceiling of the porch. So that's what I've been Googling. Also sugar gifts. So trying to remind planners that Sugar Creek Event Rentals still exists. I still exist. I'm still doing events. So I was like, what kind of sugar gift could I DIY and courier to my favorite planners? So I think I kind of decided on a chai sugar and send that out. And then you can put it in your tea. You can put it in your hot cocoa. You could put it in, whatever, your marshmallows, whatever you wanted to. So I think I may be doing that. I also Googled for a women's club in my town. I was unsuccessful of finding one. So I was like, what would it take for me to create one for business owners or women in business? So stay tuned. I might be doing that. And then I Googled DIY fruit wash, which is 1 part vinegar, 4 parts water, if you were wondering. I also Googled Above the Shadows. It was a movie we watched over the weekend, and I sat through the whole movie thinking, when am I going to figure this out? And I never did. We got to the end and I still never did. I was so confused. So if you've seen that movie and you figured it out, please share. Above the Shadows movie. I also Googled Shelley Long, because we've been actively watching Cheers. We've watched all the way. We're in season 4 right now. I Googled how long to smoke a turkey at 300 degrees Fahrenheit and also how long to thaw a turkey because I think I'm going to be in charge of the protein this year. So that is this week's search bar confessions. All right, business nugget time. Going back to the 5 1s, I want to talk about 3 steps to moving forward, to get yourself to move forward once you decide on doing the 5 1s. So let's recall what the 5 1s are. Solve one problem for one target market with one offer on one platform for 1 year with the goal of making $1 million. That is the 5 1s. So once we figure out we want to do that, we want to put our focus to that, which is what I'm going to be doing and what I'm working on for the House of Sugar Creek with the Stop Pests Organically course. This is what I'm tracking and obviously sharing those results through the podcast. But we have to know what to do once we decide we're going to do the 5 1s. Like, what do we do next? And it boils down to 3 steps. Your first step is to create your thing. And I am going to encourage you to do a course, even if it's 3 to 5 modules long, and each module is 5 to 8 minutes of either audio or video in the module itself. All the other things can come along later, like affiliate links and ambassadorships and sponsorships and more things. Like, all of that can come along later, but to get your money flowing, I think you've got to start with a course. That is what I'm going to be doing and documenting, so we will know whether or not I will be successful. But I do think starting from scratch, once you decide on doing these 5 1s, that this is the route you should take. So I don't want you to overcomplicate it. I want you, again, to keep it simple, 3 to 5 modules. I think mine is 6 total modules and 5 to 8 minutes per module. Now, how do you know what to create for your course or your mini workbook or whatever it is that you're going to do? But I do think that there's weight by creating a course first. So reverse engineer what's already selling and find your gap. Now, how do you do that? You can figure out what offers top creators in your niche are selling on repeat and find your gap. You can check out what are bestsellers on Teachable or Udemy or Gumroad and find your gap. You can go look at book reviews in your niche and see what people are still complaining about, are frustrated by, and then find your gap. You can also use ChatGPT with a couple of different prompts. You can get super hyper focused on what you want to ask Chat to help you with what it is that you're going to create, or you can go broad, or you can just start somewhere and see where it leads you. But here are 2. I think I have 2 or 3. Let's see. First one is pick a problem your target audience faces daily, and then think of 3 ways a digital product could fix the problem and describe the ideas. And then look at these top 5 competitors in my niche, and you're going to have to do your research to figure out who those top 5 people are. What do they do well? What do they miss? And suggest a product that can fill the gap. I think those are 2 strong ChatGPT prompts to help you figure out what it is that you're going to create. Now, you don't have to be a 10-year veteran in the thing that you're doing. Y'all, I have gardened way in the past. So I'm not new to gardening, but I am new to gardening the way I am currently gardening. And I'm new to having a farm stand. So I'm not new to learning how to do these things, but I am new to the style that I am doing. But I don't have to be a bajillion steps ahead of a brand new person stepping into gardening. I can talk about pests because it is what we all face as gardeners, and talk about how I am gardening organically based on what I'm growing and how I am defending the plants that I've got in the ground by either attracting beneficial insects or basically repulsing the bad guys. And you can do that. You can do that organically. So I have the confidence to know that I can sit down and put this course together based on what I'm already doing and what I saw happen in my own garden. I don't want you to feel like I don't have enough education. Like I didn't go to school for being a gardener. Now, as soon as my county extension office puts out the call for the next round of Master Gardener interns or whatever it is that they do, the application process, I will be signing up because I want to be that sponge and I want to be able to learn all the things. And that will only help me like just create the clout of what I'm doing and what I'm gearing myself up for, even with having 1 full year of gardening like I'm gardening experience. So don't feel like you need 10 years. Don't feel like you need 5 years. You only have to be a few more steps ahead of the person starting from scratch. So that's step 1, figuring out and creating the course. Step 2 is setting up your system. This will be your funnel. This is how you're going to present the information. Now, some of this can get technical. I don't want you to get into the weeds with all the tech stuff. Like there's very simple things that you can utilize to basically make your funnel work. So you can go easy with a funnel, social post to a free training to an email follow-up to a sale, or you can go even super easier than that and a social post to a landing page to a checkout page. Like it really can be that simple to your funnel system. And then step 3, grow your people, your audience. You want to make sure every piece of your content creation is aimed towards the one thing that you're selling. Even if it's like not in the realm, like I will not be talking about pests in every single garden post that I will be talking about, but I will be mentioning my course in every single piece of content that I create that is garden focused. So every piece needs to drive back to what it is that you're selling in some manner. So those are your 3 steps. Your first step is the course or the thing you're going to sell. The second step is your funnel, how you set up your system. And then the third is growing your people, building up your audience. You can literally do this in 90 days. Like I don't remember exactly when I started, but I have a big chunk of it already finished and I'm just building out assets. And then it really will be crunch time when I sit down and build out the checkout page, the landing page, and like getting the systems talking to each other. But I have a good majority of it already finished. You can create yourself a checklist to, with all the different steps that you need to do in order to get there, but you can do this in 90 days. I have faith that you can. So in 90 days, can you imagine hearing the cha-ching sound? Like I can. So if I can do it, you can do it. Figure out your 5 whys and then take the next step in creating the thing you're going to be selling. And if you find yourself pacing around your living room, replaying this over and over in your head, let me be the voice that helps you over the hump. The Clarity Shot is a 1-to-1 voice memo reply. I take your real-time business stuck point and send back a clear step forward. It's calm and it's faster than waiting for any kind of mastermind call. Ask your question at bossgirlcreative.com/shot today. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week. And until next time, ta-ta! And like my 3-year-old self said, that is all for this week. Friendly reminder to rate and review my show wherever you are listening. And last but not least, I'd love to hear from you. Leave me an audio message at bossgirlcreative.com/speak. I would love to hear your takeaways, ideas for upcoming episode topics, and your feedback. Thank you again for listening to this week's episode. And until next time, I hope you have a great rest of this one.